Hey peeps, how's it going? It's your boy Ozzy here. We're doing a little bit of something different I want to do. We're going to talk about the future of the Pistons, which I've talked about that, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be looking at Stan Van Gundy's replacements as I'm rocking the new Chrome Blake Griffin jersey for y'all. These are going to be my 5 candidates to replace Stan Van Gundy if he can't turn the season around, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. As of this video, Reggie Jackson is still not playing, and we just look lost out there on offense and defense. So we'll see where this goes. But without further ado, here's the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we got Jerry Stackhouse. He's currently coaching the G League, Toronto. I'm not sure what their team is called off the top of my head. I want to say it's like Toronto 915 or the Raptors 915. I think 915 is the area code, so something to do with that. I know that for a fact. But they are one of the best teams in the G League. They won the championship last year. I'm not sure what that's called. To be honest, I don't watch the G League that much. I'll watch a little bit of the drive games here and there, but it's relatively quiet. It's kind of like the summer league all year round. But there's also veterans that play in there when they're coming back from injury. Reggie Jackson will probably play there to get warmed up. When Jennings went down, he went down there and play. There's some names down there that do play. There's a lot of veterans who aren't in the NBA right now that play down there. And he's already helped coach the Pistons. He was an assistant for Stan Van Gundy a few years ago until the G League accepted him as their coach for the Toronto Raptors minor league team. Probably a good fit with that. The guys would be used to him. He has success at a minor league level. Would like to transition that to the big leagues. He's a former Piston. The fans know him. Fans would love him. But the only concerning with that would be coaching at the big leagues, and even in the G League. I mean, there's not the competition in the NBA night to night. You don't have to play a LeBron James and go back and play a Kevin Durant back to back, and then a Kawhi Leonard, then a Paul George, and the big boys play in the NBA. I mean, it's why it's the NBA, and that's the only knock on him I see. I don't know how far he would take us. He'd make us competitive, I would like to say. So there's number 5. Coming in at number 4, we got David Fizdale. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying, hey, they got fired from Memphis, who's trashed right now. But he's got the perfect personality to coach a Detroit team. The hard work and grind, grit. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy. We're going to work for it. Defensive-minded coach. He's coached the Big Three. He was an assistant for that in Miami. So he'll be used to having the egos of Blake Griffin, Drummond, and Reggie. I'm curious to see how that's going to still work out when all 3 of those are on the court. But he could be a very good fit. The fans would love him. A lot of these guys that are on my list are going to be fan favorites. He's going to say the right things that we're going to want to hear. But the problem with him is he when he went to Memphis, him and Marc Gasol butted heads. And I don't know how you can work with LeBron and then Marc Gasol is the reason you get fired. So the only competition I see him going somewhere else is wherever LeBron goes. I think LeBron might want him as a coach wherever LeBron decides to go. So we'll see how that's going to play out. But that's my number 4. I'm curious to see how that would work out. Tell me how you guys are feeling about him. Halfway point at number 3, we have the Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons Bad Boys. I know his record so far coaching has not been great, but it's not terrible either. He has a relationship with Andre Drummond that it's kind of like a father-son kind of relationship. It's not that close, but it's one of those relationships where he's a fatherly figure. They're not even like that. They're good friends. He's just really old compared to Drummond. Well, what was it? I believe it was after Embiid made fun of Drummond. If I'm trying to get my facts straight, and he punished Drummond, made Drummond look bad. And Isaiah Thomas said, "Why'd you let him do that to you, boy?" and like the next 5 or 6 games, Dre just went crazy. So he's gonna motivate Drummond to be better, but his coaching record so far that's happened throughout his career hasn't been great. So that's the knock on him. Again, the fans are gonna love him. We're used to seeing him. We'd be excited to have him back. Really, the plus side of this one is we get rid of Stan Van Gundy. There's number 3. Number 2, we got Mark Jackson, the former Golden State Warriors coach before they fired him for Stephen Kerr. I don't know why I called him Steve Kerr. Which he made the Golden State Warriors competitive before Steve Kerr took them to the finals, and now we have the Warriors dynasty. He's going to turn us around. We're going to play unselfishly. We're going to play good offense and defense. This guy's a true NBA coach. I'm surprised he's gone this long without having another job. I was surprised when Golden State fired him for Steve Kerr, for someone who hasn't coached in forever. And, it just shocks me. I would gladly take Mark Jackson. And the only problem with that is ESPN's playoffs and all their ESPN shows are going to be terrible with just Jeff Van Gundy. And I pray to God, if there is a God, Stan Van Gundy and Jeff Van Gundy would not do ESPN together because I would rather fucking kill myself. So there's the knock on that one. That's number 2. Numero uno, we got one of my favorite players of all time. Doesn't have any coaching experience yet, but he was a good floor general. He did coach while he was on the floor. Mr. Big Shot, Chauncey Billups. The problem with this one, he hasn't coached, and he wants more of a front office role, from what I'm hearing. He was the front runner for the Cavaliers' new GM spot before they hired whoever this jump stain was, and it would be a step up or step down, however you want to look at it. But excuse me, he's played with Drummond. He knows Drummond, and he had to control all the 04 players' egos. Rashid wasn't easy to control. You can look by his technical fouls, but they got together. They worked it out. I mean, there wasn't really any beef. He's played with Blake Griffin. They had Blake Griffin, Grant Hill, J.J. Redick, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul, Grant Hill, Chauncey Billups. I mean, Jamal Crawford. I mean, their team was stacked. And he was the sixth man running it. Well, Jamal Crawford won sixth man, but he helped run that bench, and they looked really good. That was the Clippers' best year. And he would be used to playing with Drummond. He's played with Blake, hasn't played with Reggie, but he could elevate this team. I know this would be the biggest draw from the fans. People of Detroit love Chauncey Billups. And part of it's maybe because we traded him. Part of it's because he's Mr. Big Shot. Part of it's because he want to help us win another championship. But this would be probably the best move in my eyes. This would give Chauncey Billups a chance to prove himself, get back into the game, and it would be awesome. So there's my list. I am curious to see what you guys think of my list. Go ahead and comment down below if you like my list. Let me know if you want to tweak it a little bit, switch them around. It's really not in any particular order. Just Chauncey Billups is what would be my go-to. I'm curious to see what you guys would rank. Go ahead and give me your top fives. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Maybe.